Let her go! No! Let her go, you're scaring her.
They're hurting me!
Will you tell your soldier to let go of my daughter?
We'll only take what we need. Think I might slaughter one of your pigs, and I'll take your horse.
No, maybe. I might take the girl, huh? Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's young.
No!
Amidst World War I's chaos, a grieving father turns hero, leading villagers to safety while evading a relentless enemy driven by vengeance. It all began on a bright and sunny day. A German soldier named Lorenz was patrolling the city with his men, fully prepared for battle. Suddenly, hidden attackers opened fire from nearby houses. Acting quickly, he fired back, killing 2 men, but 1 escaped. Elsewhere, Lambert sat in deep thought, his mind filled with memories of his wife. As daylight faded, he got out of bed, prepared himself, and headed to work. Around the same area, his son Adrian and Louise sat under a tree having a good time together. Their discussion caught Johanna's attention. Their actions made her jealous, so she walked away, leaving them with a brief message that she had other things to do. Later, Johanna went about her duties when her father, Lambert, arrived asking about her brother. Her reply made him realize that Adrian was likely with Louise. Lambert quickly went towards him and told Louise to go home. That same day, Louise told his father, Harold, that she was in love with Adrian, but he warned her never to see Adrian again. Despite her father's disapproval, she confessed to her mother, Brigitte, that she loved him deeply. On the other side, Lambert told Adrian the same thing to stay away from Louise, but he refused, telling his father he couldn't do that because his feelings for her were too strong. He stood up and walked outside. Later that night, one of the soldiers met with the commander, Rauch, explaining what had happened in their earlier patrol. They were ordered to bring in the prisoners, but Lorenz took it upon himself and executed the prisoners alongside children. A moment later, Rauch told Lorenz that he had to go out that night with the scout party, but Lorenz refused. Rauch grew angry, frustrated that his son kept rejecting orders and forgetting that he was a trained soldier. His disobedience had already caused several problems. The next day at the church, including Adrian and his father. During the service, Adrian kept glancing at Louise, and their fathers quickly noticed. Lambert warned him that this behavior must stop before it goes too far. After the service ended, Lambert stayed behind, watching as Louise's father drove off in his new vehicle. The priest asked Lambert to stay for a moment, saying he had something important to share, but he declined, saying he had things to attend to. Later, at the bakery, Lambert was informed that some of the villagers were moving out of the village into France because the German soldiers were invading nearby communities. That night, Lambert asked Fergal if he should prepare to fight, but he quickly decided against it, considering his farmland and his children. A moment later, Adrian stepped out of the house and began smoking. His sister joined him asking for one, but he refused, saying girls shouldn't smoke. Johanna tells him Lambert had reasons telling him not to meet with Louise. Feeling disappointed, they comforted each other with a hug. The next day, Rauch arrived at the field to inspect his men and found out his soldiers were outnumbered on the field of battle. He noticed Lorenz didn't go with the soldiers. Lorenz walked in, appearing drunk and speaking carelessly. Rauch ordered him to gather his men, but he said that the senior sergeant was capable enough to handle the task. His words angered Rauch, leading him to hit him before walking away. That same day, Lambert went to the church to meet the priest, hoping to learn what he wanted to show him earlier. The priest led him to a room, explaining that if the German soldiers arrived, the place could serve as a safe hiding spot. He continued showing him around, displaying the weapons stored there. The priest reminded him that the people respected him and looked up to him as a leader. Lambert replied that he couldn't take part in such matters. Later that day, Louise was with Adrian in the barn, making fun of their future together. Johanna overheard them and wanted to tell their father. Adrian tried to stop her, but she went ahead anyway. Lambert came to the barn and asked Louise to leave, but Adrian refused. Their argument was interrupted when they heard Johanna screaming. They rushed outside only to see the German soldiers holding her tightly. Rauch assured him that his family is safe. They only need food and supplies. Lorenz demanded that he hand over one of his horses and slaughter his pig. Lambert refused, saying he couldn't do that. Lorenz raised his gun at him in anger. His father, Rauch, tried to stop him, but Lorenz refused to listen. After a moment, he lowered his weapon, saying that instead of the animals, he would take Lambert's daughter. He grabbed hold of Johanna, hurting her, and as they were about to leave with her, Adrian attacked Lorenz in an attempt to save his sister. After the rest of the soldiers held Adrian, Laurence got up and shot Adrian, killing him instantly. His sister screamed and ran toward her brother, but Laurence shot her too, and she fell to the ground. Louise and Fergal saw everything that happened, but Fergal comforted her not to make a sound. Laurence then turned to go after Lambert, but Comfort intervened, giving Lambert the chance to escape from the farm. He hit him with the gun and allowed him to run off. Later, the Rausch summoned Laurence and questioned him about what had happened. Laurence explained that killing the girl was not intentional, but the boy's death happened during the fight, leaving him with no choice. His father became furious with him and informed him that after this very mission, he would be relieved of his service because he had taken innocent lives. Afterward, Lambert ran to the church to alert everyone about what had happened. Around the same time, Louise's father, Harold, arrived. He walks up to Lambert, angrily demanding to know where his daughter was. Without waiting for a reply, he left to search for her. On the other hand, Louise, who had been hiding, came out when it was safe and found Adrian's body. She broke down in tears over his death. Fergal tried to console her, but the loss left them both in shock. Meanwhile, Louise's father continued heading toward Lambert's farm. On his way, he encountered the soldiers who stopped him and questioned where he was coming from. He told them he had come from the nearby village. Rauch noticed the village had only civilians, so they decided to enter his car and return with him to the village. Soon after, Louise and Fergal discovered that Johanna was still alive. They quickly carried her and began heading toward the village to save her life. News of the killing spread rapidly, causing panic as people started running for their lives. The priest handed Lambert a key to the safe room where the people in the village could hide. Lambert was still filled with anger after losing his 2 kids. One of the villagers suggested that they defend their home, even if it meant dying with honor. Lambert agreed and declared that they would fight back and protect their land. He led the people to the safe room before preparing to face the coming threat. The priest insisted on staying behind just to buy them time if it was needed. Meanwhile, Louise continued her journey to find Lambert. Along the way, she stumbled and fell, noticing her father's glasses lying on the ground. She picked them up and realized that he had passed through the area earlier. At that time, the soldiers and Louise's father reached the village but found no one there. Laurence quickly understood that the villagers had already been warned. He ordered the senior sergeant to lead the soldiers to search every corner. Rauch asked Harold where they could get fuel since they had taken his car. He led them to his house, unaware of what would happen next. Before this happened, Laurence noticed a faint cry of a baby coming from beneath, but before he could process it further, Rauch asked him to go with Harold to get the fuel. His wife saw the soldiers approaching and quickly grabbed a gun to defend herself. She shot the senior sergeant, and Laurence shot her down before she could act again. Laurence turned back to Harold, demanding to know who their leader was. He dragged him down, and just as he was about to shoot him, the priest walked up and called Laurence by his name, telling him no one would hunt him. This is just a village. The priest's words hit him warmly, but in a moment he raised his gun and shot him, turned to Harold demanding answers. Out of fear for his life, he revealed that it was Lambert the farmer. After getting the answer, Laurence shot him as well. He then ordered his men to find Lambert and bring him to him, no matter how many they had to kill to do it. His father stood by silently, saying nothing as his son carried on. Lambert, seeing what happened on the other hand, gathered a few men, opened the vault, and gave them a few guns. The plan was to keep them busy until nightfall. They headed into the city in different directions to fight back. Soon the sound of gunfire filled the air as Laurence and his soldiers clashed with the farmers and their men. During the battle, Lambert entered a room where he could see Laurence and his father from a distance. Inside, the commander and his son argued about the rising number of dead soldiers. Rauch wanted to retreat, but Laurence refused. His father became angry with him, but Laurence raised his gun and aimed it at his father. From Lambert's hiding spot, Lambert took the chance and fired his weapon, but the vision of his wife made him miss the shot. One of Lambert's men tried to fire back, but was shot down. On the other hand, Lambert spots Fergal with his daughter, and he quickly runs toward their location. He met Louise, and after having a word with her, he headed to his daughter and told them that they had to leave the village immediately. They met with the remaining villagers and explained that they had to leave for France, but some of the villagers refused, saying the land was theirs and they would not abandon it. After Lambert left, Laurence and his men entered the room where the villagers were hiding. He demanded to know where the farmer had gone. At first, no one spoke, but a woman broke the silence out of fear and revealed Lambert's whereabouts. Even after getting the answer, Laurence wiped out the villagers. Later, Laurence met with his father and told him where the farmer had gone. His father said they would go together. On their journey, Lambert and his family kept walking until they reached an open house. That same night, Lambert noticed someone approaching. He knocked him down and demanded he speak out. Soon after, he knew that his parents had also been killed by the Germans. Louise noticed the gun Thomas carried belonged to Adrian, causing him to say that he stole it from the Germans. Seeing this, Lambert informed the few men that they had to go back and take the horse alongside the cart to make them go faster. Later that night, Louise sat quietly beside a fire, weeping for Adrian. Lambert saw her and went to speak with her. She told him that she had loved his son deeply. At first, she regretted following him, but Lambert reminded her that she was a brave woman. She then revealed that she was pregnant. She insisted on naming the baby after Adrian's mother. If it's a girl, name it Adrian if it's a boy. He went to a quiet place and broke down in tears. The next morning, they head out to Lorenz's location, and on the other hand, Lorenz and his soldiers were already in a battle with a different squad. Rausch walks through the battlefield, terrified and observing. They eventually won the battle, but he noticed Lambert and his men getting away with the horse and cart. He fired at him but missed his shot. Lambert fired back at him, killing him. Lorenz heard the shots and ran towards him, but by the time he got there, it was too late. Lambert hurried back to his family and told them they had to leave immediately because Lorenz would come after them. Meanwhile, Lorenz, filled with rage over his father's death, and after burying their dead, he gathered his men and began chasing Lambert. During their journey, Lambert and his group became cautious after sensing danger ahead. He decided that the men would stay behind while Louise and Johanna continued forward. When Lambert noticed Laurence and his soldiers closing in, he stopped the cart and unloaded the fuel and made some plans to buy them time. He lit up a stick and raised it to lure the enemies in his direction, while the others hid behind the trees to fire back. When Laurence got closer, he threw the flaming stick and set the area ablaze. The flames spread rapidly, cutting through the path and engulfing the area. The fire helped them push back the soldiers, while Fergal and the rest fired at the soldiers, even ending one with a dagger, and in the gunfire, Henry was shot. Thick smoke filled the air, making it hard to see. Gunfire echoed from every direction as Lambert and Laurence came face to face. The two men fought fiercely, struggling. In a moment, Lambert overpowered Laurence and strangled him to death. By morning, Louise and the others were worried about them, but suddenly, Thomas came running toward them. He informed them they were okay, but Henry was shot. They rushed into the woods and found them, realizing that Henry was alive. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.